All right, let's talk about a huge shift happening in AI right now. Seriously, this is a fundamental change in how we're building these systems. We're moving away from that old idea of just more data, and into something, well, something much smarter. So let's dive in. And look, the message coming through loud and clear is this. There is a big change ahead for how AI learns. And we're not talking about some minor update here. No, this is a total rethink of the whole process, right from the very beginning. Okay, so before we can really grasp where we're headed, we gotta look back at where we've been, right? For the longest time, AI development has been run by this old playbook. And that playbook was all about one thing: volume. I mean, the formula was dead simple, wasn't it? More data plus more compute power equals more progress. That was it. The whole game was just to shovel more and more information into these models. We're talking terabytes, then petabytes of the stuff. And hey, for a while, it totally worked. It was the way to get ahead. But that era, that time of easy brute force progress, it's pretty much over. People in the field are waking up to the fact that just cranking the dial on data and compute, it's just not cutting it anymore. The old strategy, well, it's hitting a massive wall. And that's the hard truth of it. Progress is slowing down. We're just not seeing those giant leaps forward anymore, just by making things bigger. The returns are diminishing, you know? It's become crystal clear that we need a new way of thinking. So that leads us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? The question the entire field is asking right now. If the old way is tapped out, then what's next? How in the world do we break through that wall and keep moving forward? And this is where it gets really interesting. This is the new paradigm. It's a massive pivot away from volume and all in on value. We're talking about a completely different philosophy, one that puts quality way, way above just raw quantity. You can basically boil this new philosophy down to one core idea: meaning is better than volume. It's no longer about how much data you can throw at a model. It's all about the quality, the context of that data. It's the difference between blindly hoarding information and being an expert curator. And the other side of that coin is just as important. Structure beats noise. So instead of just scraping the entire chaotic, noisy internet for data, the focus is now on well-organized, coherent stuff, meaningful information. Think of it as building a solid, strong foundation of knowledge instead of just a bigger and bigger pile of random junk. So let's just put it side by side. The old playbook, that was the brute force game. More data, more compute. The new paradigm? It's a much smarter, more surgical approach that's all about better meaning and better structure. A tale of two playbooks, for sure. And you know, this new way of thinking isn't just some vague concept. Not at all. It's actually being turned into a really clear, actionable framework, like the actual building blocks for the next generation of AI. So, at its core, this framework is built around four key paradigms. Think of them as the four pillars of this new approach to data engineering. And these four paradigms, they're applied across four essential types of data. It's all part of this super comprehensive structured methodology. And let's be clear, the goal here is massive. We're not just talking about making slightly better chatbots or something. No, the whole point of this framework is to lay out one clear direction, a real path toward AGI-level systems, the end game. Okay, so you might be thinking, who does this really matter to? Is this just for academics in a lab? Absolutely not. This shift has very real, very practical consequences for anyone who's actually working on the front lines of AI today. Basically, if you touch model data in any way, you are right at the center of this thing. We're talking about the creators, the builders, the researchers. If you're one of these people, this new paradigm is going to change how you work, period. And I really want to stress this. This isn't just theory. This isn't some abstract conversation about the future. It's about real model behavior right now. The shift from volume to value is already changing how these systems learn, how they reason, how they perform. It is happening as we speak. So what we're really watching is AI evolving, right? It's going from being this messy, giant library of facts into a much more refined system that can actually understand. So here's the final thought I want to leave you with. If an AI's intelligence really shifts from how much it knows to how well it understands, what's the very first thing you'd ask it?